We love each other. I'm Gray Wiston. I'm a senior from Henrico.
And I'm Leon Gia. I'm a senior from Chesterfield.
And we're going to talk about the two distinct missions of Model UN. One is the club and one is the conference. I'm president of the club, so I'll talk about that for a little bit. But at the beginning of this year, we thought that this was going to be pretty rough. We had a huge class of outgoing seniors who had been in charge of the club for a long time, who we'd always looked up to as underclassmen, and all of a sudden they were gone. So, we thought, okay, this is going to be a bit of a growth year. But what ended up happening is in the first couple weeks, we brought a lot of people to Vayman, and underclassmen, freshmen, sophomores, juniors, really started to fill it out a little bit so we weren't as top heavy. And at Vayman, we ended up having our most successful conference ever. About 70% of people winning something, 65, 70% of people winning an award, and a whole host of best delegates. Moving on from that, we went to NAMEN, which is our most prestigious and most expensive conference. That's at Georgetown. It's kind of considered the mecca for Model UN. There's people there from China, from Canada, from Thailand, I mean Mexico. People come from all over the world to this thing. And we did very well there as well. We had, how many awards did we get?
Yeah, two best.
Two best. There was a team got outstanding. It was a very good conference. And then coming up recently, we do TJ, which is kind of more of our training for younger members of the club, and we did very well there as well. So this year, we'd say that the few things to take away from it is we've ended up doubling our club membership roughly. We had about 45, and we ended up somewhat closer to 75 at the end of this year. So that's very exciting. And going forward, we've got a really great incoming class coming. We'll be having elections next week, and there's a lot of great people taking the helm, so we're very excited about that.
Okay, again, my name is Leon Gia. This year I served as Director General for Gizman 16. The successes of Gizman 16, how much time do you guys have? Okay, well, starting off, there are 11 Secretariat members, such as myself, and Gray Wiston, who was the Director of General Assemblies. We had 17 committees in which students around Virginia would debate topics such as nuclear proliferation. This year was our biggest Gizman we've ever hosted.
It was really ridiculous.
And we had 550 students coming from all around Virginia, including Mount Jackson, and we had a school coming in from Baltimore, which was amazing. I think Gizman is very special in that we make not only the news here, but also around Richmond. We were featured on National Public Radio and the Henrico newspapers.
If I can interject one thing really quickly, I think Gizman is also important, kind of like the way Model Congress is recruiting for the school, because when I actually came to Gizman as an 8th grader, so that's one thing that's been cool, was starting out, attending, and then rising up through the ranks, and that was when I went there and I saw Gizman, I realized what Maggie Walker was like, I want to go to this place for school.
If there's a unifying factor at Maggie Walker, it's either field hockey or... but continue on, this year we supported a charity called Free the Children, specifically focusing on education in Kenya. This year we broke all other records. We raised over $10,000, $10,250, which was, that's incredible.
Pretty much every year we come into Gizman, we're like, oh my gosh, like how are we going to raise the same amount of money that we raised the previous year? And then have fun next year.
Good luck to you. And to put them in perspective, it takes $8,500 to build a school in Kenya. So we essentially built another school out of our conference, which is fantastic news. And I really hope that it brings more fame to Maggie Walker as a school. And I also think that's more than Vayman or William and Mary raised. And those are collegiate, college, conferences. But other than that, I think that Gizman is a fantastic tradition. This is our 16th Gizman, and a lot of it depends on academic boosters for supporting us and for continuing this tradition in the future.
Yeah, just to comment on academic boosters and what's that's meant on the personal level. As president of the club, a lot of people approach you with needs that a lot of people in the club don't even know about. So when the initial number comes out for NAMEN, people are like, oh my gosh, that's really expensive. I don't know if I can afford that. But when that price comes down to $100, comes down to another $50, then suddenly the barrier of entry is not so high, and it's like, okay, now I can attend. So it means a lot.
It's a huge difference. So we really thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you all. Appreciate it.